This is the news on top of the hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 FM.
Good evening. Welcome to this evening's newscast on Kaieteur Radio for Saturday, October 30th, 2021. I'm Kevin Smith. Let's get to the news in detail. Ghana, a West African oil producer whose people are trapped in a lopsided gas deal with oil companies, including ExxonMobil, is now set to advise Guyana on how to best execute its $900 million gas-to-shore venture. According to the head of state, Irfan Ali, a technical team from Ghana will be heading to Guyana early next month to advise the country on how it should be going about its $900 million gas project in partnership with ExxonMobil subsidiary Esso. Meanwhile, Guyana's total external debt at the end of June this year stood at some $3 billion, but this is likely to skyrocket in the near future as the Ministry of Finance is currently prioritizing a list of project proposals from its program portfolio to submit to the United Arab Emirates Investment Fund for financing. This is even as the country also considers potential funding from the Kuwait Investment Fund, in addition to the Inter-American Development Bank, whose president, Mauricio Claver-Caron, is due to visit Guyana imminently for a fact-finding mission on funding opportunities for programs in Guyana. In other news, there has been an escalating public debate over the proliferation of foreign companies into Guyana, especially in the absence of any local content provisions or protective legislation. Questionable practices are perceived to be largely overlooked, as is evidenced with the accusations being leveled against at least one Trinidadian-based company operating in Guyana called Europa Guyana Inc. A quick Google search and a perusal of public reports locally and regionally revealed its operations manager, Hewitt Allen, was at least up to 2010 listed on Interpol's most wanted list for sex crimes allegedly perpetrated against underage girls in a number of Caribbean islands. According to reports, the official is now being accused of allegedly using insider information in order to scoop up multi-million-dollar contracts for the Trinidadian company by underbidding locals. And in other news, the confessed killer who escaped from the Lusignan prison on Thursday had his trip to neighboring Suriname called off yesterday after cops captured him in a minibus that was bound for Parika. Capildio Gangadin had waited until all the prisoners at the Lusignan prison were accounted for before making his escape from the quarantine section by scaling the fence sometime around 4 hours 45. However, his plan was thwarted after someone tipped police that he was spotted in a minibus en route to Parika. Rangs intercepted that minibus around 9 hours 30 in the vicinity of Onderneming on the west bank of Demerara, and Gangadin was captured. He was later questioned by investigators and told them that he was actually heading to Suriname and had gotten money for the trip from an overseas uncle. And moving on, President Ali reiterated that he is committed to providing salary increases for public servants. When questioned when he is going to meet with the Guyana Public Service Union, the president said that commitment will be fulfilled before the end of the year. In August, Ali made the announcement that public servants will be receiving salary increases before the end of 2021. He had stated that the salary increase will be retroactive and was keen to note that it is not his government's vision for the discourse to be only about salary increases. Rather, it is actively looking at mechanisms that would allow all public servants to live improved lives. The renewed commitment comes on the heels of the recent half-year report from the Bank of Guyana, noting that public sector minimum wage remains at $70,000 while consumer price continues to escalate. And moving on. The long-awaited electoral reform legislation draft, or the Representation of the People's Act, is expected to be distributed next week for 6 weeks of consultation. This was announced yesterday by President Ali. Ali also stated that during his bilateral meeting with the Secretary General of the Organization of American States, Luis Almagro, the official reiterated the organization's commitment and support for electoral reform and the strengthening of democracy in Guyana. And with that, we've come to the end of this evening's newscast. I'm Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening. Do have a wonderful and safe rest of the weekend.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of thousands. Advertise